Yeah, we are live now.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Lynn. All right, we're officially live. Welcome everyone to the closing ceremony for InnovateX, the first Nibiru global hackathon. My name is Brian. I'm from DoraHacks. I'll be hosting the closing ceremony today in conjunction with Unique from the Nibiru team, as well as Jesse from the Nibiru team. We're very excited to be hosting the closing ceremony today after a successful Nibiru hackathon. We're actually joined today by 4 developer teams who participated in the hackathon as well, who will be demoing their submissions to the audience at the end of the ceremony. So definitely stay tuned for that. But overall, we'd just like to thank everyone for joining the closing ceremony. This has been a very exciting hackathon. It basically took place for the entire summer, essentially from the beginning of June all the way through the end of August. So it was a great summer hack, I think. Despite everyone traveling and there being lots of different conferences and summer activities, I think we were still able to get some very good participation in this hackathon. Makes me very bullish on Nibiru chain as an ecosystem. You guys have already done a really good job curating your developer community, and everyone seems very happy to be building on Nibiru. And at DoraHacks, we're just super humbled and very happy to have had the opportunity to help you host this first global hackathon, and hopefully do more in the future as your developer community continues to grow. But just so everyone has the context before handing it over to the Nibiru team to introduce more about this hackathon, I'd just like to everyone to know that Nibiru chain is a CosmWasm chain in the Cosmos ecosystem. So this hackathon was basically the first global hack. So it's more general in the types of applications we wanted to have get built for it. But just so everyone kind of has an idea of what the general theme was, there were 5 overall tracks actually for this hackathon. The first was just an expansion of existing products. So this could be things like how to make the Nibiru canonical bridge better. How can we create a better IBC router to get introduced to some of the initial Nibiru protocols like Nibi perps, or get Nibiru assets onto Osmosis, things like this. There's also a track related to data analytics and user dashboards. Another track was community and user experience. The 4th track, and probably the most creative and open track, was new products and dApps. This is probably the most ambitious category, where we asked developers to create brand new protocols that can run on top of Nibiru chain. And then the 5th category was just a flex category, was just open to all passionate developers, which we learned there were many of in the Nibiru community. So these are some of the types of themes of projects you have to look forward to if you're checking out the hackathon submissions on your own. And if you're here on the closing, if you're here going to stick around for the entire closing ceremony, you'll see some of these projects demo at the end. But once again, I'd just like to state how excited we were to have the opportunity to host this hackathon with the Nibiru chain team. We think it was very, very successful. The Nibiru chain is definitely one of the top Cosmos ecosystems. So if you're a developer looking to build in Cosmos and learn more, definitely get involved with Nibiru chain. Check them out. I'm sure Jesse and Unique will be able to provide you additional resources and contact information during this closing ceremony. But yeah, very excited to continue to work with you guys and to be a part of your community. We're very humbled and honored to have hosted this. So I think without further ado, I'll turn it over to Unique, who has a short little presentation to share about the hackathon as well, and maybe can reintroduce ourselves to our community as well if you haven't. If this is the first time you're tuning into Nibiru content.
Thanks. So I'll share screen for just a sec. Cool. So yeah, Brian touched on a lot of what we'll be going over. But basically, yes, it's Nibiru is a CosmWasm chain. And so most of the projects out of the winning pool are actually out of the like flex or new dApp category. So as you mentioned, the hackathon basically went throughout the whole summer. So there were about 50 submissions toward the end. So there was a decent amount of participation. And a lot of people also tuned into the workshops or are now going through consideration for like the grants program. So there's like a lot of continued building that happened as a result of the hackathon. So that was pretty exciting to get that kickstarted. Out of the winners we have today, I think you'll see presentations for most of these. So we have like Wise Wallet in first place, which is working on, an account abstraction solution where you express intents and then they build the transaction for you. They'll get into more detail when they present to Constellation, which worked on an options product, Cosmosm AI, and then NibID. And then we also have NibiDex, which worked on, an AMM protocol for CW20 and then also native assets. The rewards are in Nibi tokens as outlined on like the DoraHacks details page. But in addition to that, we also, provide like dev support, or basically they can use us wherever they see fit for the projects that went through participating. And then if they want to co-market or, talk about doing a grant after, that we have that as well. And then there's also the like on-chain quadratic funding part will be there eventually with the launch of the mainnet. And so just as like a recap of where we kind of are is we did the hackathon most of the summer, went through like an initial phase of audits, and then we started trading competition just last week as like the last phase of the incentivized testnet for people that want to participate. And then now the goal is to launch the mainnet, which will happen like before the end of this year. So yeah, we can get into the project presentations.
Thanks, Unique. Yeah, let's dive in. And as you mentioned, yeah, there's going to be, once mainnet hits for Nibiru, we'll be looking forward to doing some quadratic community run quadratic voting rounds for some of the top ecosystem projects on Nibiru. So definitely look forward to that as well, as both Nibiru Chain and DoraHacks' goal is to just be a major resource for developers in the Nibiru ecosystem and community, and provide continuation funding and additional resources to the top and most dedicated developer team. So super excited to have that opportunity as well, and definitely keep an eye out for more detail to come as soon as mainnet comes closer. So I think with that being said, we can dive into our first demo of the day, which will be NibiID. So if you're able to share your screen, NibiID team, we can dive into your demo.
Hey, thank you, Brian. As mentioned, I won't be able to share my screen right now, but I'll give you a precise overview of the project for sure. You can check out nibid.xyz to have a live demo of the product when I'm talking. So first, what is NibiD? It's really the key to Nibiru DeFi. And that's what actually brings us towards the hackathon. Nibiru is, as we see, of one of the most ambitious DeFi hub on Cosmos, and that's one of the reasons why we wanted to come here and bring a product that will leverage this aspect. So NibID is a domain provider, a name service, as you might call it, but indeed it's much more. With a team of 5 people, we actually managed to build an MVP and a V1 for our product in this 60 days period. And so what does the product do as of now? As of now, you are able to register domains on testnet, manage domains, meaning you can transfer domains to a wallet to another. You can manage its metadata fields. For example, you can add social links to a specific NFT. You can also check for a resolver address, meaning looking for who is holding a specific domain. And you have an FAQ that is live with full documentation for the product. But what is more interesting is what's coming next for NibID. NibID is incentivized on testnet, meaning that we still have a few more months available to us before Nibiru mainnet. And we really want to take profit from this period of time, allowing our users to really take profit from our product. meaning that if you interact with NibID, with buying domains, managing them, and using them on other protocols, you might get some cool rewards in the future when mainnet is live. What I mean by interacting with other protocols is that one of our most ambitious goal as of now is to get integrated on the most key protocols of Nibiru chain, meaning that we want our domains to be integrated on DEXs, on NFT marketplaces, in DAOs, so it adds value to our product. With this incentivized testnet, we believe that we'll be able to bring a good amount of users that will help us to improve our product, that will give us feedback, and help us to reach out to more teams in the ecosystem to really develop the brand of NibID. Later, when the product is, I'll say, in its final stages, our vision is to create the NibID social score. The NibID social score is a product that will be open source and open to everyone, allowing you to measure the commitment of a user on Nibiru. So for example, let's say you are using Nibiru's key protocols like DEXs, like NFT marketplaces, like lending borrowings, and you hold Nibi tokens in your wallet, plus you are active in DAOs. I believe your social score should be quite high, right? Because you are committed to the ecosystem. And this is what's really about NSS, NibID social score, is measuring this score of what's your commitment. So this is a KPI. If you are familiar with banking system or sales metrics, I'm sure you know what it's like. And it's calculated on different metrics that I just mentioned before. This product, this tool would be very useful, I believe, on Nibiru, because it will help all the teams to leverage this aspect of the identity of their users and like the social aspect of the network, giving some premium features for the ones that are trustable, and maybe restricting the ones that have maybe bad actions on chains. So that's one very cool aspect coming to NibID. And the second one is we want to leverage the NibID social score with another project that we call as of now Project Omega. Project Omega is our own lending protocol that will be leveraging NibID social score and NibID domains. And Project Omega is going to be offering tiered access levels, premium features for people with high social score, discounted fees, risk assessment, governance voting power, all type of features related to the NibID social score. Coming later this week, we'll be explaining all of that in a deep video with documentation for the project and everything you must know about. Last word I want to say is that NibID is here to last. My job as of now is to get in touch with all the teams on Nibiru to get them to work with us. So if you guys are in the chat, in the stream, please feel free to reach out to us. You have our Twitter, nib_ID, and we'll be very happy to work with you. Thank you, Nibiru and DoraHacks, for having us. It was very nice. We are very pleased with our position in the hackathon, and I can't wait to hear about the other projects.
Thanks, Zach. I have a quick question for you, actually, which is why did you choose Nibiru to build out your domain project?
Yeah, so the first reason was that we wanted to work with the Cosmos tech because we recently added one developer to the team that was very good at it. So that was one of the first mission. And second one, we really love the approach of having this DeFi hub on a Cosmos chain. And we are very used to building name services. So we had to find a way to build a name service that would really fit an ecosystem like Nibiru. And I believe with features like NibID social score and all this type of improving user identity and social aspect of the blockchain, I think it really fits with Nibiru. And we really want our domains to be the key to Nibiru. So that's why we wanted to build here.
Cool. Thank you. Unique or Jesse, do you have any questions for Zach before we move on to the next demo?
Not on my side. We did like separate interviews outside of this presentation, so yeah, we got to ask him a bunch of questions.
Nice. I already put you through the ringer, huh, Zach? Cool. Well, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you being here today. And if anyone, we're going to post it in the public chat on Twitter and on YouTube and Binance Live for everyone watching. The link to NibID, it's nibid.xyz. So if you're interested in checking out, please go there. Check out Zach's project. We'll be posting a link to this in the public chats as well, so you'll be able to find it there after the closing ceremony. But thanks, Zach. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, Brian.
Next, I'd love to welcome the Wise Wallet team up to the stage to demo their project.
Hi, Brian. Thanks. Let me just share my presentation. Okay.
Excellent. Thank you.
This is Arpit from Wise Wallet. We have made Wise Wallet, which is much more than a simple account abstraction project on Nibiru. About us, we are a team of 3 engineers with experience from companies like Tendermint, Polygon, and Biconomy. As we know, new users find it difficult to interact with DeFi due to wallet custody, lack of knowledge of protocols, where to swap, how to swap, etc. They also don't have no non-custodial way to place limit orders, etc. and have no protection against defects, price falls, etc. So we tried to figure out the solution for this and came up with this. Via account abstraction, users don't have to self-custody by using options like Google sign-in. This way, complicated user journeys like multiple transactions can be grouped together to just one simple signature. We also have a GPT solver to comprehend what user wants to say from plain English. We also have a limit bundler to swap on behalf of user based on his permissions. And this is fully non-custodial. So here is how our architecture goes. A user can enter plain simple English text, like whenever price of USDC falls below 95 cents, swap all of it to NIBI. This goes to the GPT intent solver, which tries to comprehend what the user wants to say and gives a transaction object in return to the user. Now, signed transaction goes to a bundler mempool where there are many bundlers constantly monitoring price. And as soon as price falls below 95 cents, they push that transaction in exchange of a commission. Now, on the smart contract account, simple validation signature checks are done. And then the call is forwarded to one of our many modules, which is the limit module. The concept for limit for module arises from that anyone can build a module for his app specific and use the concept of programmable money to interact to enable the user to easily interact with the platform. So for the limit module, first of all, Nibiru Oracle is cross-checked, like if a transaction, if the price has truly fall below 95 cents or not, and there is no flash loan attack going on by the bundler is not trying to rug the user. If that check is passed, then the DApp smart contract is called for conducting the swap. So this is our whole architecture. We are very actively working on it on our GitHub currently too, and we are building many more modules for it to easify transactions for the user. So some of it is like we want to easify the futures and options of via GPT solver for newbie DeFi users. We also want to enable a paymaster such that any user can pay fees of transaction fees in any token, just not the native one. And also we are trying to implement a passkeys module, which uses passkeys from Apple sign-in, etc., to easily create a wallet for the and handle for the user. And we will be building marketplace for these modules such that any user can build his module and just connect to the user's wallet if based on his permissions and take advantage of programmable money. So this is our homepage that we have built. So this Now let us head to the demo. So let us say if we write swap 10 NIBI to 10 NUSD if price falls below $1 of NIBI. So first of all, we will have to connect our Google account. Since for them we can connect any Kepler account to or anything, but for the demo, let us connect our Google account to an social login. Now, a transaction object is created by the GPT intent solver, and if user agrees with it, he signs it via his wallet. The transaction has been signed, and yeah, the transaction was pushed to the bundler, and the transaction has been conducted. We also have very actively built our docs. We also have built our docs. Just a sec. Yeah. So we have also built our docs so that anyone can conduct his build his own module, and based on the reference of docs can connect with the user. That's it from our side. Over to Brian now.
Cool. Thank you so much. And Unique, did you also have a detailed interview with the Wise Wallet team already as well?
Yeah, I guess, but to do the questions live, I guess I guess could you talk about some of the potential use cases you see with the limit order feature? Or I guess it's not orders, but limit hooks. Yeah.
Yeah, so limit hooks has like first of all, let us say a user wants to buy NIBI in exchange of NUSD, but he feels that he wants the price to first touch up a certain threshold. Let us say if price of NIBI is currently trading around $21, and the user might set an intent like if price of NIBI touches $20, buy me more NIBI in exchange of NUSD. So this will remain in the bundle mempool, and user now doesn't have to do anything. As soon as the price will touch that hit that price point, the user will get his NIBI in exchange of NUSD. So user doesn't have to keep constantly monitoring the price or go to a SEX to place a limit order. And since this is fully non-custodial, so the user won't have to lock his tokens to somewhere for conducting a limit swap. And yeah, this goes for the vice versa process also. Like if he wants to sell his certain token and or prevent him from depex, etc. So he can, as demo, he can like create an order of like 95 cents or certain, like if he wants to sell some token and he wants to price to rise before it. So this can be conducted too.
Got it.
Cool. And I'll ask you the same question as well: is why did you choose to build Wise Wallet on Nibiru?
Okay, so one of the main features is like Nibiru is one of the few chains of Cosmos that have an active Oracle service. So we decided to leverage that for our platform, and also like due to the Cosmos ability, we decided to build on top of Nibiru. And as I mentioned that we are trying to simplify futures and options for the user via GPT intent, and Nibiru is the perfect chain for it.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
okay,
Brian.
cool. That was our first place winner, I should add. So very cool demo. Thank you, Wise Wallet. Next, I would love Constellation team to come up and join the stage and share their demo. I believe the Constellation team is with us, right?
Yes, I'm here.
Amazing. Take it away, man.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah, and I just showed how to use our apps. You can connect it here first, and you can create an option with this stage. You can choose the duration, how long you want your option expires. 1 day, 15, 13, 60. And then you can choose your collect role. You can click here to choose one token. Set one. And here is the counter offer. This is how much the option right owner need to pay to get your collect role. I can click here to USD, and you can see more detail from here. And then you can click and confirm it. Here we'll show how the transaction going. Wait a minute. Here. And then you can come here, and here is refresh your options you owned. This is just a way created option. And then you can transfer the option to the another address like this. Oh, sorry. Choose wrong account. If you choose wrong account, here will be an arrow. Okay. And then you can show the option have transferred. You can see it on your account too. Here. And then you can list it on the market. List on the market, you can set a price. Somebody can buy your option and you can execute your option. Let me set one. Refresh it. And you can say here is changed. You can unlist the option and update its price. You can see it on the market. Now it's on here, and you can update its price. The price I changed. And you can see this button is disabled because this option is expires like here. So if your option is expired, you can claim your created option which is expired. You can get your collect role payback. Click here. And choose the account too. Now you can buy some option and execute it. Let's buy it. Now you own the option like this. If you want to execute it, you will pay 2 NUSD and get 1 NIBI. You can see your NIBI here. It's 18.5. Let's execute it. Yeah, that's all. Okay, we'll close my. Thank you for watching.
Cool. Thank you for sharing. So what's next then for Constellation? What's your roadmap look like? Are you interested in bringing this project to production?
We are aim to support more the points, and we want to use Oracle to make some platform like the consider book for the users, and we still want to develop with AI to suggestions how to build the option pools. This is in the future. We will support and get some fees for the trade.
Cool. Thank you for sharing. Unique, do you have any questions for the Constellation team before we move on to our final demo of the day?
Oh, I guess like, how did you guys, you know, come up with the design or like what to work on the project? Like, did some of the team members like work on DeFi stuff before this, like in Cosmosm, or just was this like was Cosmosm new for you guys here?
Yeah, my teammate used work for the Cosmos tournament as an engineer manager, and he used the work for investment for option invest 2 years. So we want to build an option on the Cosmoses. And Nibiru is a DeFi chain, and I think it's have their own Oracle, so we want to build on it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, thanks a lot for the demo, Pan. Yeah, so regarding what's next, the Oracle way is definitely the way, one way to go. But what we have now, there is another product option we're thinking about, another product idea we're thinking about, which is launching with what we have, something we're calling PPLs, which is a personal private listing, where individuals can list options on tokens that they think they know very well about, and list these options on their personal private market for others to buy from them, and promote it themselves on their own social channels. So for the PPL product, we're pretty much almost done, have what we need to go ahead and do a launch with that. But for other advanced functions we're thinking about, we'll definitely need like an Oracle and think of market makers and the rest of them. Yeah.
Nice. Thank you guys so much. It's always cool to see some of these new projects in the hackathon that you guys have time to throw up a front end for as well, you know, because that's not always the case. So I'm glad that you were able to demo it today. So thank you so much.
Thanks.
All right, finally, I'd love to invite John, if now is the time that works for him, to come demo Cosmosm AI.
Hello.
Hey, John.
Let's see if this screen sharing works. Looks
Yeah,
like
we
it
can
is.
see it.
Okay, so Cosmosm AI is trying to solve this problem that I've had as a smart contract developer. Basically, when you're full-time and you're cranking out all these different smart contracts, and then you send it over to an auditor and you wait like a month or 2 or maybe 3 to reconcile all the different vulnerabilities. So I was thinking, how can I improve this process? And basically, how can I use AI to do it? So the idea is pretty simple. It's a website, you feed your GitHub repo in, and then it checks for all the different common types of vulnerabilities in Cosmosm. And I ran it through this Oak security capture the flag test. And each one of these repos is a different vulnerability type. And then this was created by the system. And I'll show you another one too. So this one is, I run like 10 different AI audits a week, just to like see what kind of results it'll get. And right here is a summary of the results. So reentrancy, lack of input, token minting. So it actually catches like all the low-hanging fruit. So I've been working on this the last like 2 months or so, nights and weekends. And I've talked to like 30 different users, different types of people. So smart contract developers like myself, people who are in hackathons, like hackathon participants, security auditors, and surprisingly, a lot of people are interested in trying this out, seeing like what it can do. And I think the difference with what I'm doing versus just like a normal ChatGPT prompt, you can actually get the specific like test cases. Like this is how you trigger reentrancy, for instance, or like this is how you like for instance, there's different pagination bugs like over underflow. Even in CosmWasm, you can end up having like rounding errors between ints and decimals, for instance. And then like access control, like there's a lot of access control bugs. So I think that this is like one way that developers like myself, maybe the other hackathon participants can just run through and see the different types of bugs that you have on more like a CI/CD basis. So here's one with a proof of concept, and then you can see like hacker tries to drain contract and then it's successful. So you're able to see like a more clear way to find these different vulnerabilities. And you know, when you're developing at a really fast pace in a startup, trying to iterate the product, security is one of those things that slips your mind sometimes. But in the blockchain world, smart contracts hold funds, and then in the blockchain, it's usually like immutable transactions. So when you have something with a lot of funds and then immutable transactions, it's a really kind of juicy target for hackers. So my attempt with this is to try to make smart contracts more secure and security more accessible. And then here's like a bunch of different like proof of concept, what the problem is. Yeah, it just goes on and on. So are there any other questions? Anything else you would like to see?
Yeah, thanks, man. Oh, go ahead, Unique.
Sure. So what are some of the limitations you found with using it for, like, I know I've found with like AI tools for Solidity, as it's just like more developers using it, like I can get more out of the you know, chat models. Do you find that it works well for CosmWasm now? And then what are kind of some of the, you know, things you found that, like, are there ways to optimize it? Are you able to set parameters, or do you kind of just run it over and over again and see what you get?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So the accuracy, it doesn't detect everything. There's a stark difference in Solidity versus CosmWasm. But even with the Solidity, some of the responses are pretty like lagged, I guess. For instance, Solidity 0.8.0, there's no underflow or overflow integer problems. Like safe math is already included by default, but you'll still get responses saying like you're vulnerable to over or underflow. So with CosmWasm, actually Rust is pretty well documented in just the standard GPT responses. But the the security patterns, like access control with different types, like the rounding of decimals, that kind of thing. It'll catch like all those kinds of easy bugs. And then your question about like how effective is this? What are the shortcomings? So I've noticed that GPT is not up to date. It's up to date until like 2021 or so, and there have been a lot of different vulnerabilities since then, right? So I think that there's a lot of room to improve. So if you take a bunch of models and then you train it against the latest bugs, then it should be able to pattern match against all those different bugs, those new novel bugs that the standard GPT will not be able to find. And in terms of accuracy, I don't know exactly how good it is right now, and it's an ongoing research question. Even the latest like AI scientists and researchers, I asked them like, how can you comprehensively evaluate these different models? Because every response is different. And it's kind of like when you feed images, when you feed like text into an image generator, text to image generator, like Stable Diffusion. If you have a different seed every time, you're going to end up with a different type of result completely. Even if you constrain the parameters a lot, it'll be similar maybe, but it won't be exactly the same. So that's a big challenge. And the way that I've overcome it initially is by running it like hundreds of times. And it's expensive, but when you aggregate the responses, you end up getting a better distribution of the types of vulnerabilities you have. But then you end up with a different type of problem, which is a high number of false positives. So then you need to run it again with a different filtering mechanism. And that's the approach that I took here in this COSM-WASM challenge. So it doesn't really help you if you end up having like 1,000 vulnerabilities, but 999 of them are fake, like false positives, and then only one of them is a real vulnerability, right? So you really need to, well, I guess like I really need to tune the signal versus noise ratio to make sure that real vulnerabilities are surfaced. And one of the ways that I was thinking about it is like, okay, so you have this test, like test imbalance, and then there's some assertions, right? So you can copy and paste this into your test. So in Ethereum, it would be Foundry. In COSM-WASM, it'd be CW multitest. And then just run it and see if it actually works, and then change the code with the recommendations, and then see if it actually passes. So that's something that I'd like to do in a future iteration, basically allow simulation and test generation and updating the code. That's pretty far away from where I am right now. And I think the next couple steps are build up models with a lot of different data to catch a lot of the common mistakes. And currently right now, it seems to catch a lot of the logic mistakes. So access control, obviously, numerations. So if it's like 0 where you meant 1, or simple arithmetic mistakes like 1 when you meant 0, that kind of thing. And it actually caught one of the bugs that I had in one of my early contracts, which was a pagination bug with an NFT collection. So I built a minter and I tracked the mint count of the like person trying to mint. But what I didn't realize was the max pagination on CW NFTs is set to 30. So if I set my pagination to the minter limit to like 30 or over, then it basically allows users unlimited minting. And a security researcher reported this issue, and then we ended up fixing it later. And I tried to use these different models to check against that. And like surprisingly, it found it. So, you know, if it happens to me, I'm a like full-time contract dev, like I've been using it on my team members' code, and it finds like a few surprising, like easy things that, you know, it just slips because we're against these different deadlines. We're trying to push out code at a rapid pace and build more useful features for users. And then, you know, it's a great like first step, like pre-audit step to just sanity check your code for the easy stuff. And that's something that security researchers have also said, like they're doing these manual reviews, looking line by line. And from their perspective, it's kind of a waste of time to find these easy bugs. Then you have to write this like big paragraph report and the tests and everything to just address some simple like, is this contract owner running this function or not? So from their perspective, it frees them up to work on the more interesting bugs, like the contract interactions and governance, potential governance attacks, and that kind of thing. I know that was a long answer.
No, thank you.
So I guess like, if I'm allowed to do a little pitch, if you're a smart contract developer, if you're a security auditor and would like to try this out, this is like private beta. So just like reach out to me, just like going back to the website, just type in your email and then I can do a little demo and see if this like fits what you want to do.
Awesome stuff.
Any other questions?
No, I think that was pretty clear. Thank you for the question, Unique, and thank you so much, John, for presenting Cosmosm AI. I think that if you're interested in bringing this idea to production, there's going to be lots of opportunities to receive continuation funding on this, given the interest in like just auditing, smart contract AI auditing in general. So let's definitely stay in touch and see what resources we can provide you, and that goes for everyone who demoed today as well. If you're interested in bringing any of these ideas to production, as we mentioned earlier, there's going to be some quadratic funding rounds when the Nibiru chain goes live, as well as additional resources that we would love to partner with you on. So thank you all for presenting today. And we can move on to the conclusion of the closing ceremony, unless Nibiru and Jesse, you have any final words you want to mention to any of the demoers today?
No, just thank you guys for participating. Yeah, the presentations went great.
Excellent. Yeah, well, thank you everyone for being here. Thanks everyone for being here. Everyone in the audience, thank you so much for showing your support to the hackers that participated in InnovateX, which was the name of Nibiru Chain's summer hackathon. And thank you so much for showing your support to the demoers here today as well. If anyone in the audience is interested in getting connected to ask additional questions to any of the winners or just to get connected to learn more, please let myself or the Nibiru chain team know. We'd be more than happy to get you connected with the teams. Please follow them on social media as well. We'll be posting all of their information on the DoraHacks platform and on Twitter after this closing ceremony. To everyone who demoed today, thank you so much for presenting to our community. I think this was a really cool closing ceremony. There was a lot of really good demos. Doing live demos always can present those random challenges. But I think everyone went very smoothly today. So thank you all for that. And yeah, definitely be on the lookout. If you weren't able to participate in this hackathon, but are interested in developing on the Nibiru chain, definitely be on the lookout for future developer activations. We'll do some community voting rounds and hopefully we'll do some more hackathons soon. So that's about it, everyone. Thanks for joining. And yeah, congrats to all the winners.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Brian. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
What?